You certainly played villains before. This one surprised me how different it was from characters you played in the past. He's a little quiet.
Yeah, he's a quiet villain. I think he's quite loud visually. You know, there was a huge amount of special effects both on the face and the costume, and we spoke about him maybe speaking quietly and carrying a very big stick, which is the ether. So yeah, we wanted him to have a complexity. We didn't want the cackling, snarling fiend, really.
There's something scary too because he's not a guy you could reason with. He's very matter of fact. No, I'm going to bring darkness.
Yeah. Alan Taylor, who directed the film, directed me to Norse mythology, where the character was born. Marvel took him from Norse mythology, and he became part of their mythology. And there was a sense that the Dark Elves were the aristocrats. Have a real sense of their worth and their bearing, and that's what we majored on. And a code of honour between them. You see that when Algrim makes the great sacrifice. There's this code of honour and brotherly love between them. So they have their own, and we give them their own language. You know.
I heard Alan invented the language.
Alan, no, it was Alan's innovation to give them a language. But the language is created by a linguistics expert.
How tricky is it to learn the...
It's pretty difficult, yeah. It's a real challenge because not only do you have to identify the stress system within the language where the words are stressed, you also have to create a music for the language which isn't too familiar. You don't want Italian sounding Dark Elves, you know, you have to mix it up. And it was based on European languages, primarily Finnish, so we listened to that.
You've done a number of sort of nerd-friendly franchises, and I'm curious if that in particular appeals to you.
It's interesting, I've been active for 24 years, and if you looked at my CV, the genre stuff would probably be like 4 or 5%, but it seems to get the most attention. So it seems like I am primarily a sci-fi genre actor, but no, it comes to me rather than me going to it.
What is it that gets you really excited for a role?
Complexity, particularly if you're playing a villain. You want it to have some subtlety and some surprises. And I particularly like in this film when you see the character asleep and slightly more vulnerable than, say, we see in the armoured version of him here. You know, when he's fully armoured up, there is a sequence where he is not, and I like that.
He's
an odd kind of gentleness to him at that point, fragility.
He's a very interesting counter to the rest of the film because while the rest of the film is certainly serious and universe is at stake, it's also very funny.
Yeah.
And Malekith certainly is not funny.
yeah. There's not many laughs in this Dark Elf. Yeah, I loved the humour of the film, and I'm sad that I had to stay outside that. But my job was to bring the menace, to bring the drama, to bring the threat. But I do think it's good for sci-fi films like this to pick up on humour. It's basically an acknowledgement of the intelligence of the audience. They're used to this kind of thing now, and they want to be surprised.